I thought congressional hearings were supposed to educate lawmakers, but today's are mostly partisan bickering.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I have a...
The gentleman is not recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of order.
The gentleman is not recognized.
I have a point of order, though.
I don't see any education happening.
I allowed the ranking
point
member
of
to...
order.
The gentleman is not recognized.
But members haven't tried to learn things at hearings for a long time. Maybe they don't want to look as ignorant as Senator Orrin Hatch did at this Facebook hearing.
Well, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see.
You'd think they'd know basic facts before asking questions. But no.
I have a 7-year-old granddaughter who picked up her phone before the election.
Here Congressman Steve King asked Google CEO about an iPhone.
But I'd ask you, how does that show up on a 7-year-old's iPhone who's playing a kid's game?
Congressman, iPhone is made by a different company.
Lately, they're eager to attack big tech, especially Mark Zuckerberg, because he's rich and Facebook's so powerful. Last year, he proposed a new cryptocurrency called Libra.
I actually don't know if Libra is going to work, but I believe that it's important to try new things.
It is, so Congress should let him. Instead, they summon him to Washington where Representative Al Green grills him about groups he partners with.
How many are headed by women?
What does that have to do with Libra?
Congressman, I do not know the answer.
Green, like many these days, doesn't want to learn anything. He wants to sneer and score points.
How many of them are minorities, Mr. Zuckerberg?
Congressman, I do not know off the top of my head.
Are there any members of the LGBTQ plus community?
Give me a break. These hearings have changed a lot since they were invented by the very first Congress in 1789. Founder George Mason said members possess inquisitorial powers to inspect the conduct of public offices.
Are you stupid?
But today, members use their time to bully people.
Mrs. DeVos, have you ever taken out a student loan?
Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is a billionaire. Elizabeth Warren knows that. Yet she asks,
Have any of your children had to borrow money?
Warren wants to be seen bashing a rich Republican.
They have been fortunate not to.
Have you had any personal experience with the Pell Grant?
Some in Congress bash rich people and business for everything. Tim Sloan was boss of Wells Fargo.
Mr. Sloan, why was the bank involved in the caging of children?
Really? The bank helped cage children?
I don't know how to answer that question because we weren't.
Others grab TV FaceTime to claim they're more virtuous than others.
And I'm not going to sit here and allow this committee to be used to say that e-cigarettes, vaping, Juul is not killing our people.
Two last examples. When military personnel were being stationed on the island of Guam, Congressman Hank Johnson said this.
My fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
Excuse me?
We don't anticipate that.
Later, Representative Johnson said he was joking, but it didn't sound like he was joking. And then there was the time when Congresswoman Maxine Waters grilled bankers about student loan debt.
What are you guys doing to help us with the student loan debt? Who would like to answer first? Mr. Monahan, Big Bank.
We stopped making student loans in 2007 or so.
Oh, so you don't do it anymore. Mr. Corbett?
We exited student lending in 2009.
Mr. Diamond?
When the government took over student lending in 2010 or so, we stopped doing all student lending.
Is the chair of the Financial Services Committee embarrassed that she didn't know that at the direction of her party, government took over student loans years ago? I don't know. Her staff didn't respond to our emails. Watching the hearings, watching politicians score cheap points and bully productive people should make all of us want less government.